Crédible et inclusif, tant espéré par les Gabonaises et les Gabonais.
Just in, army officers announced coup in Gabon after Ali Bongo's re-election. Hello and welcome to Adamazi TV. My name is Ngozi. Army officers have appeared on national television to say they have seized power in Gabon after President Ali Bongo was re-elected to a third term in office in the Central African nation, claiming the recent general election lacks credibility and saying they represent all Gabon security and defense forces. They said the election results were cancelled, all borders closed until further notice, and state institutions dissolved. Loud sounds of gunfire could be heard in the capital, Libreville, a Reuters reporter said after the television appearance. In the name of the Gabonese people, we have decided to defend the peace by putting an end to the current regime, the officer said on TV Gabon Channel 24. Gabon's incumbent President Ali Bongo won a third term in the presidential election with 64.27% of the vote. The Gabonese Election Center said on Wednesday after a delay-plagued general election that the opposition denounced as fraudulent. Announcing the result in the early hours, the election head Michael Stephanie Bonda said Bongo's main challenger Albert Ondo Osa came second with 30.77% of the vote. Tensions were running high amid fears of unrest after Saturday's presidential, parliamentary and legislative vote, which saw Bongo seeking to extend his family's 56-year grip on power, while the opposition pushed for change in the oil and cocoa-rich but poverty-stricken nation. A lack of international observers, the suspension of some foreign broadcasts, and the authorities' decision to cut internet server and impose a nighttime curfew nationwide after the poll had raised concerns about the transparency of the electoral process. One of the officers read the joint statement on television. Bongo, at 64, who succeeded his father Omar as president in 2009, had 18 challengers, 6 of whom backed Ondo Osa in an effort to narrow the race. It's been garnered that in 2016, the parliament building was torched when violent street protests erupted against Bongo's contested re-election for his second term. The government shut down internet access for several days at the time. However, the group have declared themselves members of the Committee of Transition and the Restoration of Institutions. The state institutions they declared dissolved included the government, the Senate, the National Assembly, the Constitutional Court, and the election body. If successful, the coup would represent the 8th in West and Central Africa since 2020. Coups in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Chad, and Niger have all undermined democratic progress. Recall in July, the military snatched power in Niger, sending shockwaves across the Sahel and sucking in global powers with strategic interest at stake. Do not forget to watch Adamazi TV. If this is your first time, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button for recent trends and events happening around across African communities.
President,